Anyone who wants to tackle corruption must be willing to go all the way.
This is a story that reveals the extent to which bribery is endemic in Ghana. It gives you an insight into how some people retain their positions or lose their jobs. This story tells you why Ghana is struggling with the corruption fight. In spite of the established neutrality of the civil service, some politicians still find means to influence recruitment, transfers, and promotions when their political parties win elections. Such was the case in 2017 when the New Patriotic Party won the 2016 elections. A plot was hatched in 2017 by some contractors, politicians, and some staff of the Department of Urban Roads to get the president to sack the Director of Urban Roads, Alhaji Dr. Abbas Awolu. This was revealed in a documentary titled Dirty Deals at Urban Roads, Top Officials Exposed in Bribery and Corruption. The plot to get Alhaji Abbas kicked out of office was revealed in the course of investigating two officials of the Department of Urban Roads for being in the habit of taking bribes from contractors. Before the undercover story was published on YouTube, the newspaper had earlier in June 2017 published on its front page with a caption, "Road contractors behind plot to remove Urban Roads Director." In that story published on Wednesday, June 7, 2017, the Salis newspaper reported that some road contractors were alleging, among other things, that under Alhaji Abbas, only roads in NDC strongholds were given upgrades. They further alleged that Alhaji Abbas runs the department as an autocratic leader. Some of these allegations came up when the Salis was investigating the New Jobbing Municipal Director of Roads, Mr. Francis Tosu, for bribery and corruption. He was of the view that Alhaji Abbas had to go because he was a challenge to their deals. He even said that Alhaji Abbas was being protected by the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, just like former President Mahama, because of his northern roots.
We are finding a way of getting him out there.
Mr. Tosu took an amount of 2,000 Ghana cedis from the Salis investigators to help them secure contracts. The investigators paid for his lunch as well. Following this story, two petitions were submitted to the local government minister, Hajia Halima Mahama, and the head of the local government service, Dr. Nana Atto Arthur, for investigation and action. Both Francis Tosu, the New Jobbing Municipal Director of Roads, and Benjamin Bampo, the Tema Metropolitan Director of Roads, who were caught on tape receiving bribes in separate encounters from the Salis investigators, came under criminal investigations by the Ghana Police Service. Watch how a presidential staffer reveals the three big men behind the grand scheme to get the Director of Urban Roads out of office, and how a Deputy Chief of Staff is heavily involved. As the plan to kick Alhaji Abbas out thickened, some party communicators and serial callers were unleashed on radio to mount calls on the president to sack Alhaji Abbas. Behind these communicators and serial callers were some contractors and some politicians who were going to be the ultimate beneficiaries. They alleged that Alhaji Abbas was an NDC man and was going to sabotage the NPP in the area of roads. Sometime in 2017, Edmond Che, a presidential staffer, offered to assist Alhaji Abbas by influencing party communicators and also plead with the Chief of Staff on his behalf so that he is not moved from his position as the Director of Urban Roads. The first meeting with Edmond Che was at a pub in East Legon, a suburb of Accra. The meeting was to find out how the presidential staffer was hoping to help stop the agenda to get the director of urban roads out. Edmond Che presented his plan. He talks about how to compromise top journalists and some 3 big men with money.
Pennyphobia bear 5,000 for better top rates. Young guys and for some other stations, young guys, any media print papers, young guys, in bear 1,000 each. Maybe a chronicle, then daily guide myself.
Edmond Che told the investigator about how close he is with the chief of staff and one of her deputies. The presidential staffer showed the undercover investigator a video and a picture of the president and a deputy chief of staff, Mr. Asenso Boache, the NPP parliamentary candidate for Bantama constituency, who were out of the country. Edmond Che said he is an errand boy for the deputy chief of staff, and so he listens to him.
TV show, Angel TV. So the big people can make a TV show. I was the 9 maybe. Chief of staff.
There was a second meeting with the presidential staffer, and this time it was at Golden Tulip Hotel in Accra. The purpose of this meeting was to give a cash amount of 6,000 Ghana cedis to the presidential staffer to calm the voices clamoring for the removal of the director of urban roads.
Okay. 5,000. Very good. 5,000. Right. 5,000.
After this meeting, the attacks on Alhaji Abbas from the party communicators and serial callers on radio even heightened. It became clear that Edmond Che was a fly in the storm,
and there was the need to see the big man himself.
President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Akuffo Addo.
I've said it and I'll repeat it again. Those who are coming to this administration thinking that it's an avenue for making a lot of money are going to be disappointed. They better go to the private sector. That is where people make money, not in government.
As it became obviously clear that losing his job was imminent, the director of urban roads, Alhaji Dr. Abbas, sent a delegation to see the President of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Akuffo Addo. They were led to the President by Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Dr. Ajay Bewa. In his company were a woman and a man who were introduced as wife and brother of the director of urban roads. According to Ambassador Ajay Bewa, he was leading them on behalf of Madam Amabuzia.
I'm not there for a day or you may not at the Okuhu and Chama. Sankana and Chama, I don't know. Or that's what says in one by night. I know you said behind you. You could director for urban roads. Transport Ministry. Department of Urban Roads, we are the Ministry of Transport. This is the opposite of the highway. That's right. Yeah.
The meeting was in the private residence of the President in Nima to plead for clemency and to state his side of the allegations being leveled against him by the party communicators and a section of the media.
Nana, Mini Lieutenant Colonel Damoa, yes, Yao, Mama Buzia Fee, mekyerɛ videos bi a ɔmo train military for into your excellency anapai baya ya kono bonia ya laja bas ensin ya ntinenam amanfo hana se yin wo office no na oya politics so so on your politics no office or civil servant on di bonibia wo hot dance nenso tan amanfo time a omo se e beyi na afriko se yemra eme power choma no en kan cry woman chireo na ne kutuji egu form na taya mo time no one mamua enye yiye.
He gave an amount of $40,000 concealed in a brown envelope on behalf of the Director of Urban Roads to the President. President Akuffo Addo received the money with both hands while beaming with smiles.
Amanfo bae so yesi won pasika bi mre o na ono so say o ni bia won ho de obetimi ane $40,000 ya famre o na no kutu jugu fom udi position no manu a o ma usansi from da.
Okay.
To put a name on the money, President Akuffo Addo requested to have one. The woman asked her brother whose name to give the president. She spoke in Dagbani. She offered to give her name and spells it out for the president, who gladly writes it out in his diary.
So I need to have a name.
Yeah.
What time are you leaving?
Yeah.
How's your Fauzia?
Fauzia.
F-A-W-Z-I.
Yes.
Money has changed hands. The atmosphere is now less tensed and familiarity has been established. It is indeed a small world.
The new chief in Pemba.
Tembi.
My great friend.
Okay, this man.
Oh,
he's my uncle.
He's your uncle?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah,
This man.
He's my
He
good
used to be a
friend.
DP.
Absolutely.
After this meeting and the subsequent exchange of $40,000, the incessant calls for the removal of Alhaji Dr. Abbas Awolu from office ceased, and Alhaji Abbas continues to be the Director of Urban Roads to date.